The family gets for that swing early. It is 5:09 a.m. in my city, Chicago. So for Sunday, July 27, 2025. 100% on my phone. Mary McNamara's. You know, I'm not a psychic, but I be feeling things. And I have to say this. And I want y'all to feel me on this, for real. You ain't even got to be a psychic, prophet, none of that. Just somebody with some common sense. Now, I went to church last week, and I left before the pastor really got to speaking. This was a pastor that filled in for, the original pastor. And, I didn't stay for the service because I just felt like something was off. And as I was leaving before he got really started, not to disrespect him, Dr. Isaac Hayes is the pastor, filling in for Dr. Byron Brazier, right? Now, I just left because I just felt someone right in my spirit or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? I always take everything personal, and I'm usually right when it comes to me. I said all that to say, doctor, pastor, reverend, whatever, Isaac Hayes, he has that fire as far as, being able to deliver his word or whatever and stuff. But I just got done listening, Grace for the Race, so his sermon he gave last Sunday, on the 20th. I just got to listening because, I want to make sure it ain't just me, right? And, he said something around the time frame of 1 hour and 13 minutes about him not, liking to lose or whatever. He said he doesn't like to lose, right? He said, and this, I quote, he said, "I'll put some in your spinach." Now, I had just got some spinach, a can of spinach about a week ago. And this is it right here. You understand what I'm saying? This the spinach. Now, this is the only meal I got left up in here in my refrigerator. And I've been poisoned 6 times. Real talk. Starting when I was about 9 years old or whatever, eating some Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I've been poisoned since I've been at this trap building. I was working out when I first got here at Planet Fitness, for about a week. And I had bought me some milk and some butter cookies. And, I got to eating it and, I threw up the night before, but I still went and worked out the next day or whatever and stuff. He talked about with the grace for the race, people trying to kill you in Jeremiah chapter 1 and, even family and friends. And, you understand what I'm saying? I just got done listening to it. And I'm like, dang, why would he say, that he'll put something in your spinach? So I ain't finna eat the spinach, right? You understand what I'm saying? Real talk. I mean, why say that? I mean, normal people don't think like that. And you're a doctor. Normal people don't think like that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, last week it was just kind of weird. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of vibe was off or whatever and stuff. How you gonna contend with horses? He's talking about, you can contend with the people on foot, but now you got to contend with horses and how, it was a good sermon until he said that poison stuff. And if you've been poisoned, man, you're not trying to hear that in church, especially coming from a doctor. Brazier, he makes bullets for guns, and the other one, you know what I'm saying? He'll put something in your spinach. Wow. I'm just saying. My scripture is John chapter 8, verses, not verses 11, but John chapters 8 through 11. But definitely John chapter 8, verse 44. See, people always want to make it seem like, oh, you reading too much into it. Oh, I just listened to it today to make sure it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking about going to church again. Now, I'm not scared to go up against horses. I understand they the horses, okay? You understand what I'm saying? But come on, man. And then when I was leaving, church before he got started, trying not to be disrespectful, for real, for real. This security that I never seen up in there, but he started coming towards me like he didn't want me to leave, kind of like when what's that other pastor they say lock the doors, when it's time to pass the trying trying to get people to put that money in the basket or whatever. Lock the doors. I can't remember his name right now, but y'all know. Man, what's going on? These motherfuckers some gangsters, ain't they? Everybody marriage, you gotta be more careful. So no, I ain't eating this spinach. Mm-mm. Yeah. Y'all better check yourself for real, cause doing too much. It's the 9. And this the 11. Police, make sure you document, that service. Because if anything happened to me, for real, you know what I mean? And I mean, for real. Because I'm going to church. See what they got to say today. You heard me? 9:16. Step your game up. Stop making me your target. Peace.